Yo, my name is Lawrence Ray, also known as LRW3, the host of the Talk to Me Nice podcast. Before we begin this next episode, I just wanted to say a few words, man. I know you all usually come watch the videos because, we joke around a lot. We have a lot of fun here. But this episode, I'm going to be honest with you all, this episode is more on the serious tone, as it should be. Honestly, this episode even took me a few days before I started editing it just to really process the conversations that we really had this episode. This episode, to be straightforward, and just so you know, what you're about to watch is about mental health. This episode, I just want to thank everybody who showed up. This was our largest group that we ever attempted here at the Talk to Me Nice podcast. Everybody who showed up definitely proved why they deserve to be on this episode. Everybody shared something. Everybody just really did what I truly appreciate. They did what they should have done, to be honest with you. This episode, just so you know, behind the scenes, this episode, again, was such a large group of people. It literally took us 5 hours to film it. Of course, we had to edit it. It was just too much. We're just going to include some of the more important parts of it. Anybody, if this video affects you and you want to see the rest of it, let me know. I will send you the entire 5 hours unedited if it helps you. Just a couple of quick facts about mental health, just so you all can know and kind of take this serious as you watch it. 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental health. 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experience mental illness. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14. 75% by age 24. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 34. Just certain things to think about, man. An important thing that kept coming up during our conversation today was don't ignore it. Take care of your people. Check on your people. Let them know you love them. So before or after you watch this video, let your people know you love them. Let your people know you're here for them. Without further ado, this is the Talk to Me Nice podcast. I am Lawrence Ray. This is episode 11. My name is Lawrence Ray, also known as LRW3, and you are officially listening to the Talk to Me Nice podcast.
All I know is shooting. You come to a bitch to feel important. Get your life together properly. I just bought a $200,000 house. Nigga battle me with property.
You can't buy happiness, but you can buy local. And that's kinda the same thing. Here at the Talk to Me Nice podcast, we support all local entrepreneurs. Please contact a local business for any and all of your needs. And when you get there, remember to talk to them nice. I think sometimes we forget that when you ignore the problem, you become the problem. If you always do what you always done, you always be where you always been. We forget sometimes. You have the power to say, this is not how my story will end. Rock bottom became the solid foundation I needed to rebuild my life. The moment you doubt if you can fly becomes the moment it became impossible. Thoughts. Our thoughts are more powerful than I think any of us realize. Use your power and never give it away. Stand on your beliefs, stand on your convictions, and learn to use no as a complete sentence. You owe nobody an explanation for your happiness. Remember this, in case nobody told you, your feelings are valid, your mistakes are forgivable, and your dreams are possible. Today, on the Talk to Me Nice podcast, me and my superstar panel discuss the difficulties within our own lives and those around us. Sometimes, the hardest thing to see is what's in the mirror. This brave panel took on that task and left better people for it. Without further ado, and with the greatest honor, my amazing panel, are you ready to talk to me nice?
But I like y'all energy, man. This is a wrong episode for all this great energy. Now, before every episode, if y'all seen it, usually I even put it on video. I do make it a habit before we start to
nice, if you don't feel like they talking to you nice, then let them know they need to change. The goal today is to have everybody express what they need to express. Again, if you feel like they're not doing that, challenge it.
I need some nap in my hands.
You scared?
No, I'm not.
Especially
I just realized who you was.
Again, before we get started, nobody is perfect. Nobody here pretends to be, which is why you all were invited. Every person here is strong enough to speak words that maybe others who feel exactly like you have not reached the point in their own journey to express. So just remember that as you decide how or what to respond to. Again, no pressure on whatever you decide. Does everybody want to continue? We clearly got enough people. If you don't want to be here, we can get out. We're about to start in 3. Just how everybody
She still has not moved. She still like that.
This is the Talk to Me Nice podcast. I am your host, LaNorris Jones, also known as LRW3. As you can tell today, I got everybody with me. We're going to jump right into it with this many people. We going to round robin it. I don't know how we going to do this, man. Everybody, we just about to start like we always do. Let them know your name. Let them know where they can find you at. I guess we got to keep some type of order. Somebody saying stuff, but we need to start on one side.
All right, class.
What's up, y'all? Ziggy.
Oh, I said we need to start in a corner.
She ain't pointed at me.
Well, do your thing.
I was trying to. Let me start over. Hold on, y'all. No, I'm not finna start. No, for real. Ziggy, hey, y'all, everybody. What's up? Y'all can find me on Facebook at Woo Child. What I said? Snap. It's my daddy shit. And my Instagram is Z Said What She Said. And shout out to my main, my ace, with the lashes. You feel me? I'm gonna throw that out there later, but we gonna talk y'all after. Hey, what's up, boo? What's your name?
Hey y'all, my name is Dante Hancock. Been married 2 years, so mental health is real important to me. Got a wife I gotta cuss with. A little bit about me. I've been in this town since 1999, so I'm from here. But a lot of people say I don't talk like I'm from here. I know Lawrence from way back then. We used to play basketball. I knew him because he was like this little.
He's still that little.
Back when I still had knees, y'all.
Yeah, you had that little arm sleeve all the time.
Right? Back in my prime.
Right now, I'm trying to get into the military. Right now, I'm an amateur boxer, and I know the Army has a boxing league, so that's why I'm really trying to stay in shape. Pushing my wife to stay in shape because she's a model. So she's always back and forth Atlanta. She runs her own magazine, so we gotta keep each other on.
Hey, you seen that slight brag? I gotta watch your shit model. You feel me? Anyway.
Can we acknowledge the fact that all of us nice black folks in here praising him for having a wife? Yeah. She been a model? Yes.
So mental health is important. I'm always busy. She's always busy. Sometimes we go long periods without talking, and then we gotta check up on each other. So she's always going to Atlanta. So mental health is going to be a very important topic for this one. So I'm happy to speak on it.
Pleasure to have you, of course. Alright, who's stepping up next? Who next?
Lady.
Camera ready.
Hello, I'm Key. I'm a loctician. I work here and I work in Atlanta. And my Instagram, what is my Instagram? I think it's key.thelocklady. And my Facebook is Key Latrice. And my Snapchat, I don't remember the name of it. And my TikTok is Key the Lock Lady too. So y'all can follow.
You talk, okay.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, you just gonna skip on that?
I'm bad. My bad.
You can go. Let it know.
No, you go.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Right.
Hi, I'm Daijha. My Facebook is Daijha Towns. Instagram is mamasbaby_26. Snapchat is DDKT_95. I came here honestly because I've suffered from mental health issues, and I feel like this is one of those things where I can come and be comfortable talking about it. So, yeah.
Our star of one of the virtual episodes.
Yeah! Hey y'all, my name is Daijha. You can find me on Facebook, Daija Hope, Instagram, Snap, and Twitter, _coldheartedAF. I came here today because I know a lot of people don't get to really talk about like their mental health and stuff. And I've been through some stuff, but I talked it out, and I'm at the point now where I'm comfortable talking about it without crying. And I just want everybody else to be like in a space mentally where they can talk about it and be like, this happened, but I did this because of that. I didn't let it define me. So, Hey.
Hello guys, Mr. Williams. They call me Miguel. I'm also married to this money. Don't get it mistaken, okay? I'm here today because my boy, childhood best friend, you know what I'm saying? We've been trying to get together, but this is the perfect time. And mental health is a good topic for adults and our kids. I don't know if we want to touch on that too, but I'm glad to be here.
Hello, I'm Amber. You can follow me on social media, Facebook at Amber Oneal. I have 2 business pages, ATK, Fits, Kits, and Accessories, and then you can follow my little boy clothing line at Cool Kids Collection, LLC.
Okay.
How y'all doing? I'm Mask Inc., which is AKA Wiz. You know what I'm saying? You can follow me on Mask Inc. on TikTok. Mask Inc. 21, I'm sorry, that's MASSKINK 21 on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I am popping right now. I think I am.
Okay. He being modest, man. He's TikTok celebrity.
Look, when I heard about this topic though, I'm not gonna stress it to y'all. My sister, she been battling lupus, so I think it's, I want everybody to be aware. Yeah, I want everybody to be aware. So,
How y'all doing? My name is Sam. Everybody calls me Cash. I am a music artist. I'm from Atlanta.
Where your music at? You just can't skip past it.
Plug
yourself.
go on, tell me.
Okay, I am a music artist. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. All my music is on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. I got a video out on YouTube right now. I'm finna get ready to go on tour. I'm finna ready to leave Thursday. I'm finna be in New Orleans, Dallas, Houston,
So hold on, we got time to hear one song. What's the song we got to pull up for you?
The only song I got right now that really hit right now is my single "Trip Across My Heart."
Let's go. One thing I'm gonna tell you, don't say the one song you got. If you got more than one song you created, you got more than one song.
Right.
Remember that when you say that. Don't ever downplay yourself.
Can I get the name of that song?
It's "Trip Across My Heart."
So is it Cash with a C or Cash with a K? K.
The name was telling it all.
Yeah, I can't see it for
Let them know who you are, of course.
Y'all already know it's your boy Darius Fuller. We all went to school together, but I go by Darius Vibes now. I can't really shout out.
You started going by that.
Hey, that's why I love this episode, because a lot of people take me for a joke. I smile a lot, but I battle with so much stuff that I've dealt with in high school, my family, not knowing who my real father is. I got brothers and sisters. We're gonna talk about that later. But I go by Darius Vibes because I want to be an engineer. Because when I met him, he was doing his thing, and we wasn't even tight at first. Like, we didn't really click like that. We met through Aaron, A5, his partner, and my partner too. Shout out to Aaron, Lacie brother. And then we became tight, and then he was always like, dream big, follow your dreams. So my brother, actually just won a competition, and he's going to be opening up for Schoolie, and I engineer for them, so that's why I came up with Dairy Vibes, because I'm always vibing out good vibes for myself.
Anyway, what's up, y'all? This your girl Coco. You know, you can follow me on Facebook, Coco COCA Kleckley KLECKLEY, or on Snapchat or Instagram at Pocahontas. But that's POLKAHUNTAS. Like I had explained to a lot of my friends, a lot of y'all don't know, you know, I just look like this. I'm actually a mental health nurse. I really take what I do seriously. I work with adults, I work with kids, I work with drug addicts, I work with alcoholics, I work with people that have been molested by their whole family and they're only 11. I work with autistic kids. I work with kids that have DMDD. These are your kids that you just like, oh, he just bad as shit. No, he actually has a mental health disorder, and it's DMDD. Like, he can't process that this ain't right, you know? So, like, these my people. This room is full of love, so I just hope everybody is comfortable in this episode, and I'm just really excited to be here.
We're gonna do, I need to know one positive thing about you, and I need to know the best thing that happened to you this year. We're gonna start with positivity.
What? I can't hear you. What's that?
Oh no, you got the flow.
You can start. Go ahead, you can start.
Look, Mr. Williams is pondering over
Okay, well, Mr. Williams, I had a baby this year. Can y'all believe that? My third baby. Oh my God. I got out of a toxic ass relationship. I'm sorry. I know you said one thing, but that shit deep. Anybody else with me or not? Everybody.
I got pre-approved for a mortgage, so
Hey.
we're house shopping right now. And more so, it's a pain in the ass buying a house.
Hey, shout out Ryan Durham. He was my agent, man. Excellent
Yeah, I
agent,
know him
man.
too, yeah.
Shout out Ryan.
I would really piggyback off what she said. Really and truly, the best thing that has happened to me this year is moving out of the worst and most toxic and literally draining relationship that was literally killing me, and now moving into the relationship of my dreams. So that is
Shout my man out. Shout my man Tape out.
Rashad Young, and his mixtape is called Please Forgive Me.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
can check it out.
That's a fact. That's fire.
On these platforms.
Oh, the next, hey, my man, he was on the first episode, the first one, which he set the standard with them. Shout out AG2, shout out Serion Los. Them three together really took this. Everybody's kind of seen what the vision was off of them, so we definitely give them his flowers, man.
The thing that happened to me is I finally moved out of my mama's house.
Oh, wait.
Let me snap. Think about the people ears when they listen, man.
I finally got my own apartment, got out of my mama's house.
I mean, this year was I found myself more, learned to love myself more, and do what pleases me and not my family and everybody else around me.
Talk your talk, man. Talk your talk.
Living for me and my son. Hello.
Hello.
Shit, I paid off my car. And I finally took the steps into this mortgage thing. So I'm in the market for a home for me and my two girls. So it's up there.
One positive thing that happened to me this year was I was able to finally launch my little boy's clothing line. It's been in planning for like 2 years. So I'm finally able to make moves this year. And I'm excited.
I mean, if you want to be honest, and honest, I don't like a lot of people, because I mean, that was a resolution I had last year. I think the one positive thing that happened to me this year, I stayed out of jail. I think the best thing that happened to me was after losing everything, you know what I'm saying, I picked everything back up and smiled and everybody thinks
So what's that positive with you?
What was the positive thing about you?
that I stayed out of jail. Yeah, because I've been there for, I've been going in and out since 14. But I ain't telling nobody, I just went through school. But, you know, 8th grade, I just kind of took off. And then, you know, when I got, after we graduated, you know, I caught 23 felonies in one night. Yeah.
No, you said
23.
Jeez.
So, you know, they kind of hid me for a minute. But I don't want to get,
we're not gonna get too deep in your business as far as that.
Yeah, right. So
I mean, it's okay.
it's just a blessing you sitting in our presence.
Yeah, You know, when you young, you got a different mindset.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. No,
Thank you inevitable.
yeah, so you know.
But we happy you overcame that.
Right.
Change is everything, man. So,
Grace
if nobody told you yet, we all proud of you.
Facts.
Most definitely.
This year is, I got a bug that I'm supposed to be getting signed by a major. My greatest trait, stop caring so much. And then my greatest accomplishment, man, once I stopped caring about, and I can say this openly now because talking with him and talking to a lot of people in my family, I stopped caring what my mom telling me. I mean, that's my blood, that's my family, she means well, but sometimes you gotta break a little connection to open up who you really are. And once I did that, my greatest accomplishment, I got my kids back and I'm driving and I got a good job now, man. For real. My kids are with me 24/7.
That's it. People pleasing is fear.
And I'm gonna say this as somebody, they don't like this is like my mama show up and she'll cuss him out like she cussed me out. Y'all don't understand.
I don't get that with it too.
So when I say I done seen what he's done, man, I'll tell you every day, man, I'm proud of you.
The best thing that happened to me this year, I had so many blessings. I can't count them. Like, I have to go with Daijha. Like, I recently just moved out my mom's house. Like, when I got pregnant, I was like, I can't do nothing for myself. I need somebody to take care of me. So I stayed at my mom's after I had my baby. Like, my mom was my rock. Do you understand me? So, yeah, definitely moving out of my mom's house and giving my baby her own space. Right. Like, it's like, girl, tear it up. Tear it up. Don't tear it up. Tear it up. Yeah.
We are about to take a break, and when we come back, that's when the fun begins. So.
Oh, we can roll it.
I need some water.
So we are back with the Talk to Me Nice podcast. Just came off an extended break, of course. All right, so let's just get into it, man. How are you? Whatever that means to you. How are you?
Blessed to be alive, man.
Making it.
That's all right. All right, compared to last year, are you happy or sad?
Happier. Definitely
Happy, most definitely happier.
Now, do you find yourself being critical of yourself a lot?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why?
I feel like I'm not doing enough for myself. I mean, for my kids too.
Right.
I feel like I'm just not doing enough as a mother. A
Wow.
lot of times. I don't know. I be beating myself up because everybody around me be like, "Girl, you do everything for them kids." Like, and then some. And then I just be feeling like maybe because when I love my shoes, y'all. I buy a pair of shoes and I be feeling guilty. Like, dang, them $80 I spent on my shoes, I could have spent on my kids. You know what I'm saying? But then my kids got everything.
Right.
So it's like.
But how often do you do that for yourself?
Right. You right, you know, I only do stuff for me in the month of June, like my whole birthday month, and then I might buy something for Christmas.
I'm actually, it don't matter how often you do it. If your kids got everything they need, why does that matter?
You know what? Exactly. And I be beating myself up. So I'm saying it's just me.
So why are you beating yourself up?
I don't know.
Yes.
I have no idea. What is it?
Mom instinct. It's just natural.
So the other mothers are telling me it's just natural.
I can't
Like,
say
y'all
it's
going
just
to school.
moms though, man.
But
Because
you're going to
I'm a
school to get something
full-time
for your
dad.
kids.
Right. I feel what you're saying,
Yeah.
but to say it's just mom instincts, I feel kind of under the rug, behind the door. It's okay. There we go. You got it.
Parental instinct.
That's what it
There we
is.
go.
Like, I be really beating myself up about it, and it's just my kids. Like, for me, I be like, you know what? I got money. I got this. I got a roof. You know, we got this. But am I doing enough for my kids? Are my kids really happy?
You got money, you got a roof, your kids got everything you need. Why are you not doing it?
Don't know. It just be beating me up sometimes.
I think it's just that making up time because, you know, we all been friends with people who weren't really our friends, so we're like, damn, we wasted all that time. with
You
these
know
people,
what?
so we gotta like
That
catch
might
up,
be
like,
it.
you know, you waste a couple years with people you thought was cool, then you find out.
I say,
they're
it shouldn't even be friends, relationships.
Yeah. Wasting
You know?
time elsewhere, wasting time at work, wasting time with my, you know,
Work is a big one for me.
all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I just
that's
seen you
what
say
it is.
that you're wasting a lot of time. What areas, and anybody can answer, what areas in your life need more attention?
Me, myself, and
And what excuses are you making to justify?
my kids.
Yeah.
So we just established that you have no reason to feel how you feel.
You know what? That's what I said. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel this way, and it's often. It's like every time I step out the house and I spend some money somewhere, or if I'm spending some time with somebody, like if I'm going on a date, it's like, damn, am I really here? Or am I like, should I be at home with my kids? Are you gonna waste my time? And I could have had this time with my kids or took this gas that I drove over here with and took my kids somewhere. It made me feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. With all these guilt in the room.
I feel like in certain situations like that, we beating ourselves up, like you said, for what we think is right and what is wrong, rather than it being for them. It's not for them.
Right.
It's for you. So if you go on a date with a guy and he treats you right and you spend that money, you're gonna enjoy that. You're not gonna think about like, oh, I need to spend this on my kids, because you know your kids straight. So I think it's more so the adult world that we get misconstrued with our kids, not realizing that I just didn't want to be on this date. I ain't gotta use my kids as the excuse. I think that's what we do. Because I do it too.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been off and on single mom. So, I'm now, you know, single mother of 3. And I'm doing it. Listen, God is good. But that's why we feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was a wasted relationship. And all of this stuff where it was like, hey, I did this for you and I could have did it for my baby.
Yeah. So you said you was in a wasted relationship, but you're still talking about that relationship. Why you still not wasting time?
We don't talk about it due to the fact that we're having this conversation here. But when I told you that I was out of the toxic relationship, physically we broke up last year, but mentally I broke out of that a couple months ago. So I feel amazing and free and everything.
Y'all know what I said at the beginning. I usually let y'all slide. I can't let you slide. You said mentally you broke up with it a few months ago. Now
mentally,
you know I
was out of it.
Mentally, but you know I love you.
Yeah.
And y'all friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
10 times a day I see you talking about your baby daddy.
So somebody ain't no
Wait a minute. Flag on the flag. I ain't got a flag. Flag on the flag. I post on Facebook for laughs. I don't post because it's what I'm going through. Unless I say RNS. Oh, baby, shh. Listen, I literally post for laughs. Like, that's it. I post because either somebody I know can relate to it, or it be funny, or
You can relate to it. Period.
I can relate to it in a past lifetime.
But you still relate to it, and it's like, damn, this is so true.
A lot of stuff. But
that hurts you. That hurts you in the long run.
And you trying to laugh at it.
It do hurt you in the long run, because you're trying to laugh at it and you trying to
deal.
You trying to dealing. I used to do that too.
I'm not hurt though.
That's what I.
But if you still,
I'm not saying that you're hurt. I'm saying
It's like your way of venting to recover over what happened. It's like
Y'all wanna know what I? I'll talk to y'all about that after camera. But no, I'm good. Like honestly.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm
So
great.
I mean,
we here.
I'm great. You know what? Listen. Honest to God, when I say like physically, yeah, y'all know physically we can leave first. I mean, you know, mentally we'll leave first, and then physically we'll leave. But honest to God, I left that relationship physically because it was so much cheating and so much just toxins in my house. Like it was like I just can't do this anymore. So, but you know, it was because that's my baby daddy. We all got love for baby mom, baby daddy type thing. When I tell y'all mentally, well, you at one point in time you did. That's why you got that back. Well, no, we talk about that. I was never mind. So you should have heard this podcast. Never mind.
Hey, he said it right though, not to cut you off. You dealing still because you said that's your baby dad. That don't mean you have to deal with that
I
situation.
deal with him.
But
I
you
don't
said-
have
but-
to deal with him.
but you said-
I literally post because it's funny, baby. It's
But
not
that's
because it's what I'm going
that's
through.
still kind of giving him the upper leg. Like, well, I'm still showing you this. You know he looking.
Who?
It's that 1%.
Yeah, it's
right.
that.
You know he looking.
Yeah, you know he looking. So don't get him that time of day. Don't put that out there like that. Don't do it.
Whatever it is that he's doing, that's his business. But honest to God.
So keep your business to you, not on Facebook. So where he can see it and everybody else can try to put 2 and 2 together.
Okay, cool. No, I agree with you to some sort, but who do you vent to when you don't have nobody to vent to?
Right.
It's that out, bro.
Facebook.
And not to say you put your business on it.
And that's what's wrong with it.
But it's a hypothetical.
And that's what's
Nobody
wrong.
said it's not. We just say the
You're
matter of fact.
You're right.
But that's
And
what I'm saying, like-
and let me say it like this. I mean my statement. My opinion is that's what's wrong with our generation. We going to people, letting them know what's our business is, and other people that don't know you is giving you opinion that don't know your situation.
But then that's up to you to take that advice or not.
It's up to you. It's up to you to put it out there in the first place to allow that.
But who's to say you can't vent because somebody else gonna perceive it this way or that way? That's not your how somebody feels about you and what you going through is not your business. That's their perception. When they business from the beginning.
So why did you put your business out there?
Because
If it's
you're
not their
venting.
business.
Because Facebook asks how are you feeling.
It's
It
not their
asks how
business.
are you feeling.
But you
Hey,
for feedback.
I feel just because Facebook asks you how you feeling, that's a robot. That is a white man, or excuse me, not get racial, that's a white black man, whoever set up the algorithm to sit there to figure out your life, but who's answering you back? It could be
how many people that's not a robot asking you that in your everyday life? With all this stuff you got going on, how many people asking what's up with you? How you feeling?
It could be your
So if that robot is all you have, that's what you're gonna open up to. Because you don't have the people that you care about asking you that. So guess what? That's what I said.
You just got to the point. That's the issue. You say nobody should ask you.
You're looking for somebody who's not even asking.
Facebook isn't asking you.
Exactly.
But that's the only time that you see, like how many people need an outlet but don't have an outlet? Or maybe they do, but they don't feel comfortable going to that person. But they just so happen to feel comfortable going to Facebook. But who are you to judge them? That's the only, they want to put their business out there, that's them. You'll be like, well, couldn't be me. But to each his own.
Well, the only counter to that is you can't say who are they to judge. It's like me walking up to you and having a conversation with you, then you give me an opinion. Well, who asked you?
Exactly.
Who told you to come tell me?
Exactly.
I didn't know your business until you told me your business.
Take it or not.
And truth is but a point of view. Truth is a point of view. So if you go on Facebook and you decide to tell half the truth, and all I know is half the truth, and I make my opinion on half the truth, is that my fault or is that your fault?
That's your fault.
So now, whether you want to or whether you don't want to, whatever, just like her, she said she just be joking. If I don't know you just be joking,
Exactly.
then I'm just see
You know I be joking like, okay, this
Don't present yourself in a way of being judged if you're not acceptable to that. It don't matter what they say or how they perceive it. You put it out there for them to judge it.
But you know the blessing? I don't care.
Right.
Just by the get
Facts.
I don't care.
But a lot of people say that, but what I see is a lot of people do care because you're saying, well, I put it up there, I don't really care, but then you say, well, he's seen it, she's seen it, and then they said that. If you really didn't care, you would put it up there and just let it be that. You would wash your hands with it, but a lot of people don't. You still go back to it and read the comments.
Bro, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, bro, everybody's strengths are different, bro.
Y'all don't overtalk each other. A lot of people, and this, like, y'all.
No.
No, go ahead, bud.
Well, what I was gonna say, this comment there, bro. Like, I get what you're saying. Why post it? But bro, you gotta think about it. Everybody's strengths are different.
Yeah.
So you can post something tonight and wash your hands and be like, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
I can post that bit and still be in love tomorrow, broke down. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I don't have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
But I got you, say I got you and Ray.
Yeah.
As outlets. Bro, why do I need Facebook? Because I got my boys. You feel me? And I'm gonna trust y'all judgment with the best intent. And don't look for that judgment because we boys.
I want to point out something when you finish.
I noticed one thing when people say, oh, I don't care. I notice, especially when it comes to Facebook, you don't care when I don't agree.
Yeah.
But if I do agree, oh, I appreciate you, bro. I'm out here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the minute I say, the minute I say, hey, don't do that, man, I don't care what you think. But so it's one of those, like, you deep down you do care, and it's that sense of being judged that you don't like. As long as y'all support what I'm doing, then it's great. The minute you don't like it, ain't nobody asked you. Right. But again, you technically did ask me because you put it where I can see it. It's not like I did my own research and figured it out, and now I'm coming to you like, where you even found that out at? Like, you told me, you allowed me to have an opinion on your life. So that goes too, but that goes, like y'all said, that you do that because you feel like you don't have anybody. So, next question. Do you have a place or a person who you can be truly vulnerable with? Now, when I say that, hold on. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like, yo, like, I'm mad at my girl, I can call you real quick and talk to her. I'm talking about like, no, like, you done said some things you probably need to be in jail for if somebody else hears it. But you can call them, and no matter how crazy it gets, they don't judge you, they listen to you.
My people, yes. Asia, LaPage, Montavious, Moore.
and I'm gonna keep saying it every single day.
I just want to ask one question. Does everybody have an answer to that question?
Yes.
Then you don't need Facebook. Because you just said if you don't have somebody to mix,
figure it out.
you do. That's a great segue. That's a great segue. So you do have somebody.
Everybody said they have a person. Are you that person for people?
Yes.
Now, I know all y'all gonna say yeah. Let's be honest now. Have you ever, let's say you said you're that person. Let's say your friend called you late at night. You know they calling you. You don't feel like answering the phone. How many of y'all have not answered that phone?
We all
If I don't answer, I'ma text you.
They see what's up, see if you do.
Everything good?
Yes, sir.
Like, I really need you, or like, then I call back.
Everybody just said yes. And if we're being honest, none of you all are that person. Because that one time that you decided, I can't do it tonight, how do you know that's not their last time? A lot of people, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure all y'all are usually there for your people. But the key word is you're usually there.
Right.
You're there when it's convenient. Like,
For you.
I'm guilty of it too. It's been times like, man, he gonna talk for about an hour. Maybe he needs that conversation for about an hour. And it's like, and I hate to say it, but like usually we all seen it like when somebody does something they shouldn't have done, whether that's like go commit a crime, like out of nowhere, go kill somebody, commit suicide. What's the first thing you see all their friends say? I should have answered. I should have answered.
Hey,
I should have
on
talked
some
to you.
real deep shit, my battle buddy was his best friend. He committed suicide. He found out his girlfriend. Matter of fact, if y'all watched the news about 2 years ago, he was in 361st. He's the one in Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley.
He found out his girlfriend was cheating on him, and he went outside the academy and blew his brains out in the car. But about a month before he did that, we was at drill, and he was like, "Hey, Oneal, I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Wembley, I'm gonna get you," because Wembley was always like, you called him, he was there. You needed something, he was there. He didn't care how much it took for him to come from our way to Twitch to Wonder Riders to help you. You know what I'm saying? If he had to drive from here to Florida, he would. You know, he was just that type of person. He always smiled, always laughed. Nobody knew he was battling depression with people that was close to him. Well, a month before he committed suicide, he was like, "Oneal, I need to talk to you." I was like, "Wembley, I get you. Elevated, hot, drill already getting on my nerve. I holler at you after drill." Well, I never got a chance to holler at him. So, about 2-3 weeks went by, I want to say. He ended up reaching back out to me. And I was like, "Wembley, come to the house and we could talk." Well, he never made it to my house. A week later, he killed himself at academy. So, like, sometimes if I don't answer, I'm going to text you back. Because now I'm stuck with a friend who committed suicide who I could have helped, you know what I'm saying, if he had somebody to talk to. What if I was the only person he came to, you know what I'm saying, to talk about that? Because me and him had just talked, like, we went to Poland and we talked, like, for hours, I want to say, about stuff I didn't even know my friend was battling with. And we talk every day at drill, you know what I'm saying? So, sometimes, like, we feel like it ain't a lot, like he said, just to pick up the phone, like, and I'm guilty of it, like, my conscience is in on me, so that's the only reason why I text if I don't pick up. But then you have to learn your closest friends. Out of those 3 people I called, only one can entrust in me like that. And it's not because the other 2 can't, it's just that we all have different relationships, we all have different bonds with each other. But I know that them 3 are there for me, but out of those 3, I know for a fact I'm there for Shakira. Like, whatever she called me for, it's probably not going to be what she talked to somebody else about. What Tanisha might call me for, she might vent to somebody else about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but if Shakira called me at 12 o'clock at night, I know something wrong, because my dog sleep at night. If she called me early in the morning, something got to be on my dog's mind, because, you know, she up with the baby, but why she want to call and talk to me? So sometimes dealing with mental health, because I've dealt with it for like 6 years now, you have to learn your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is different. Their bond with each other is different than her bond and her other best friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, she might wake up at 12 o'clock every day, but if she wake up at 10 o'clock one morning, homegirl got to know something wrong, because why she waking up on offset? It's the little things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Humans are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And another thing is, I think we all find it guilty. We all are guilty of it. It's like we just talked about with Facebook. I'm judging what you got going on. What may not be important to me, what may not set me off, might set you off. You got to think about that when you're home, when your friend's telling you something. Don't laugh at it. Yeah, I might not care. He cares. You need to take that seriously. Like, we all just have to admit, we are occasional supporters when it's convenient. But you got to think, yeah, you might be there 9 out of 10 times. It only take one time.
So I got a question. So with everything that you have, oh, I'm sorry, did you raise your hand? Did you raise your hand?
I did. We'll get on that.
Oh, okay. But like everybody got their own. Everybody got their own everyday life. Everybody's story in here different. Everybody done went through some kind of storm, but my storm might not be your storm. You know what I'm saying? And even my solution might not be your solution. So with everybody, my friend just made a stats the other day. She was like, if you ain't been there for me while I got all this going on, and you know what I got going on, then you know how that go. But how do you know that I can handle your weight with what I got going on? How do you know I got the mental capacity to do that? So it's not fair of you to say you should have been there, because how do you know that wasn't my last straw? Taking on your baggage, taking on your hurt wasn't my last straw. How do you know that? So you can't say it's guilt. We're human. You cannot say it's guilt. It's human. Who are you to say you told? Now, if you knew the future, that when you answered, if you didn't answer the phone, they would do that, then yeah, I can blame you, but you can't tell the future. So how can you say even after you did call them, they didn't go do what they wanted to do? Because maybe you tried to say everything that was right, but they're so stuck into everything that's wrong. What you said didn't even get through to them. So they still gonna go do that. So how can you blame yourself and say, well, I didn't pick up the phone, so you can't do that.
On this episode, when you said they're not there for me, it all depends what they mean by you being there for them. Like, are they looking for you to solve their problem? Then no, I can't take that on. But are they just looking like, I just want to cuss? Can you just sit on the phone while I cuss? Like, I'm not.
But you don't know that, so how can you say like, oh, it's mine?
That goes back to it wasn't convenient for you.
How you know that person wasn't sitting there crying because of what they got going on?
How do you know? You didn't answer the phone.
But that's the point. We don't know. So how can you say you're guilty or not guilty because you don't know? The only thing you can do is be empathetic to other people's situations and not be selfish of your own feelings. That's the only thing we can do.
I've been in situations where, like you said, I can't take on what you got going on. I got my own thing I can do. But sometimes, like I said, people just, I'm not looking for a solution. I just want to cuss. And so I just sound on the phone and be like, yo, that's crazy. That's not like that. That's crazy. And sometimes when they say people aren't there for me, that's what they meant. I was looking for somebody to just sit there and say, yo, that's crazy.
I know I've been talking a lot, but let me tell you, because I feel you on this. So I had my baby a year ago. Girl, what tissue at? I went through postpartum like crazy, okay? And it was this last crisis I was in, y'all. I was spiraling so bad. I called my boss, I called my therapist, I text my therapist. Like, when I never thought I would have thoughts of suicide while I had my child, but that's what kept me level. I was like, I can't leave her with that hurt. But I tell you, I called everybody I could talk to. My boss was the last person I called. I didn't want to call my best friend because she was on vacation. And I was like, I'm not going to do this to her. She enjoying herself. I'm not going to do it. I called everybody. I called my boss. She talked to me. She prayed with me, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I take that back, y'all. My best friend was my last resort. I said I wasn't going to call her. And I called her. She was the only person that picked up the phone. And I tell y'all, I couldn't even talk. I was crying for like 10 minutes. I couldn't talk. It was just like, thank God somebody picked up the phone and just stopped. Because my mind was going, I couldn't stop myself. And when my best friend answered the phone, like, you felt relief. That was it.
That's that one. That's that 1 out of 10 phone
call.
Like, for me and I'm not gonna say what exactly. Me and my homeboy got into it. Like I said, I've been going the last few weeks with the military. And when I get back, he hit me up and he was like, yo, where you at? When you come back? I said, I'm back today. He said, I'm being there. I'm gonna come to your house today. Like, he came, he started telling me what's been going on. And like, he was going, like, I'm like, well, you did all this in like a few weeks? And he was like, yeah. I was like, why you ain't call me? He was like, man, I knew you was doing your own thing. You out there outside. Who am I to put your problems on? Who am I to put my problems on you when you already got your own thing?
Exactly.
I said, you my brother. Like, what do you mean? Why are you going through this alone? That's the thing. Like, if you need somebody, like, I was upset at him because I'm doing whatever I'm doing, But you telling me your whole life flipped upside down and you was still like, no, I'm not gonna reach out. I'm not gonna reach out to you. Like, don't ever feel like you're wrong. If that's what you need, those people, if they there for you, they gonna be mad that you didn't ask, that you didn't call. So think about that. And on the other side, you might be busy. You might got a lot going on. Like y'all said, I might be at work, we got lives. I might can't answer the phone. Send that text. But if you can answer the phone, it may be one of those, like, even if you get on the phone real quick and you don't want to talk, man, I got 5 minutes here. What's going on? And if you get on the phone and you realize, I can't hang up. At least you're like, but if it is one of those, you can slide off in 5 minutes. Hey, well, I'm going to get back with you. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of issues become where people just start feeling like, nah, I can't reach out. And that starts. And another reason people start to hold things in, which is my next question. Family. We all have the issue. Family like to spread your business. Do you tell your family your business?
No. Boundaries.
Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
It's unhealthy. If I confide in my mother about something, my cousin shouldn't be calling and telling me her mama told her, my mom told her nothing. No. And then that has actually happened to me and my sister right now. Like, this is something we talk about every day, literally every day. Me and my sister talk about this, how my mama will hit us with, well, you don't call me, or, well, what you got going on? Or she'll be upset with me because I may confide in my sister about something, and I talk to her, and it's like, all my life, you've literally spread my business, the good, the bad, the ugly, and you think that I would trust you. As my mama, I love you. But it's certain stuff that I just can't confide in you in, because wherever I need your support, you're gonna take that and you're gonna spread that. And I just can't do that for my own mental. I can't do that.
I liked your answer earlier when you were talking about how you haven't spoken to your mom in a while. Because sometimes people do trap themselves, and it actually affects them. The fact that you keep people around that you know should not be around. They're not helping you because of the fact this my mom. This my cousin.
That was what she was doing, because last time I really talked to her was March of last year. And ever since then, she's left me 39 voicemails. She's called my wife a couple times. I had to call her a couple times and say, hey, you need to stop calling. And just this year, I got a call from my landlord. They said, hey, your mom called to see if you live here. I'm just like, what the?
Yeah,
So
I know
you just gotta stay private, no matter if you live next door, 10,000 miles away. You know, because ultimately it's you, whether it's yourself or you or your spouse. You know, the business gotta stay between y'all two.
Right.
Because you can tell someone, and then they gonna tell the next person. I got a cousin that lives in a whole nother state that knows nothing about me and was already judging my marriage. I'm like, yo, I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Yeah.
You're the last person to talk to.
Yes.
But that's the hard part a lot of people have, is just, you know, we're so used to spreading joy, like Facebook. We want to post something to get the likes, to get the comments, and it's the same physically. We want to tell as many people as possible just to, you know, feel rich, get it out there.
Yeah, that go back to like acceptance. Even like Facebook, you want to accept this, like family. I want my mama's affection. I want my pops to high five you. Those things like that. That you allow them to stay around, knowing that it impacts you in a negative way. And I'm glad to hear that y'all set those boundaries, because I can love you, don't mean you need to know all this. Like I think we said it on another podcast. Everybody don't need to be in that spot. Like I can love you for this. You don't need to know this. And those are things that I'm glad y'all all figured out, because a lot of people, like, they struggle with, man, that's my mom. I know it's not like, nothing ever comes good of it, but that's my mom. Like, if you gotta justify what you're doing with, well, that's my mom, or that's my, you're just making excuses.
That's the thing you gotta break, because it really, a couple of weeks ago, I was just chilling in my living room. I look outside, and I literally see my parents parked in front of my apartment. So I had to call a police officer and say, hey, you need to talk to my parents because this is getting too much. Because the next step is,
unhealthy.
Yes, the next step is they're going to ask around, hey, is he in the live here?
Right.
Final step, they're going to knock at the door.
Yeah.
And I got too much going on to be dealing with that business. And, sometimes you got to go that far. Because when I talked to the police officer, this is literally what he told me. He called my parents, called my dad first. And then my dad literally just hung up the phone. And then he tried to call my dad a couple more times. My dad was not answering. And I'm just thinking, okay, what if it's an emergency? What if I was sick or hurt? My dad just hanging up the phone with the police. And then he calls my mom. And then the only thing my mom says, oh, this hurts. And hangs up.
So you gotta be firm on your non-negotiables.
Yes.
If you can't deal with it, you don't bend it just because this is so and so.
Because at the end of the day, whatever they doing to you, you gotta carry that baggage. So you don't. It's like, don't feel bad because that's your uncle that raised you, your grandma that raised you, your mama, daddy, cousin. If that relationship or those boundaries taking a toll on your mental health and what you got going on, then at some point you gotta realize it. And that don't mean that you gotta shut that person out forever. It's almost like an ultimatum. These are my boundaries, and if you want to have a relationship with me, then you are gonna respect this. Because I'm not about to lose my peace to make you happy. I'm not gonna people please. I'm not gonna lose my mental to make you happy. I can't do it anymore. I'm an adult now. As a kid, yes, you sheltered me. I had to tell you everything because I couldn't think for myself.
Right.
I needed an adult there. But now I'm an adult. I'm figuring this stuff out. You may not agree with my choices, but you learn from experience. I can't do everything you want or don't want me to do. I can't do that. It's life. That's what you in life for, to experience and learn.
And that's very true. Now, like you just said, you're adults. Most people here have kids. Are you taking your kids' complaints seriously?
Yes.
Are you spreading your kids' business?
No.
Has anybody called anybody and told them, oh, so-and-so wet the bed, so-and-so did this or that? You are spreading your kids' business then.
I talk to my friends. Y'all
don't realize like those things that start early, like how you feel now. Think about when you was a kid and you like 6 or 7. You just have to walk in the kitchen. You hear your mama telling your auntie about stuff like, man, why you telling auntie?
My mama said that.
And you like, oh, it ain't that serious.
Yeah.
Think about it. It builds up. Nothing just starts at the top. So those little things where, hey, I don't like that, and the kid tell you, oh, I don't like that, girl. It's all funny. It's nothing like that. If it's not funny to them, you don't get to decide what's funny.
I'm sorry to cut you out, but somebody just complimented on my baby glasses, and I was like, he liked the goggles. Like, he liked to wear goggles, but I like the sticks because they look more mature on him. Well, he'll wear them, but then when somebody pick on him and say goggles, then he get upset and these ain't goggles, these my glasses. You know what I'm saying? But we think it's cute.
Right.
Oh, you're so cute with your little goggles on because he young, but he don't like for them to be called goggles. So what I said, someone that I think it was y'all that said, I was like, my baby don't like for them to be called goggles, but that's what they is. So I have to train myself to call them glasses when he want to wear goggles because he don't like that. So now I'm beating my son's self-esteem down because I'm constantly calling him goggles and I know for a fact he don't like it. Right. So now I'm just building anger inside of you over some glasses. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing people don't realize, like especially a lot of adults, and hopefully you all realize that early so it don't happen to you. Like I hear a lot of parents when they reach a certain point, they like, well, what did I do to you? And these are things you don't realize that it wasn't just one major event. It was these call me goggles. It was call my auntie. Oh, you know, so-and-so wet the bed. Stuff like that. Right. Oh, it's just funny. It's not funny. And those things build up to the point where now when I finally snap and we don't have a conversation anymore, to them it was always innocent. But again, you don't get to decide what's innocent to them. So when I was just joking. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it funny then. I don't find it funny now. And I'm not gonna find it funny later. So that's one of those you gotta remember why they're young, because right now they all still at a certain age. It can be corrected, that can be fixed. But you can't come to a 16, 17-year-old and now want to say, can we change this? Right. It's too late. I'm an adult now for all intents and purposes. I'm done talking about it. So that's something to think about why these kids are still young.
That's why it's important, I feel, that you tell your kids, especially in that 4 to I think like 8 range right there, like, hey man, don't be afraid to express yourself, you know? And I don't have a son, I have 2 girls, but I feel like growing up as a young man, we were sheltered the most to not show those emotions, you feel me? Nigga, stand up, poke your chest out. No, bruh, that shit hurt. Let me say this.
Right. It's nothing, let it know it's there, but don't be like.
So I got study something, but I got 3-year-old daughter. Like, so how do I?
First off, you don't ever say step. That's the issue.
Well, but I mean, he's my son, period. But you know, just you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you asking for
regardless?
I asking for a daughter.
I don't treat his son. Even though I said stepson, I don't treat him like a stepson. Like, cause I'm with his mom and he's a part of my life just like his mom is. So I ain't gonna never treat him like no stepson.
Yeah, so you ask like logical. You ask like how should you treat him?
Not I mean, with him it is I know how to work with him because like he autistic too. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to
You know what I'm saying? I know how to talk to him, basically. I know how to show my feelings in a certain way that he don't feel no type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about like my daughter, actually.
Right, treat your daughter.
And I know how to treat her, but it's just.
Now you definitely treat the daughter, because I got a daughter and a son. I don't treat them the same. I give them both what they need to do. Like, yeah, I'm a little harder on my son. Like I tell my son, I am a little harder on you because as a man, whether we like it or not, you're gonna be looked at a little differently when you go out in this world.
Okay.
So I can't baby you because the world ain't gonna baby you. I'm setting you up for failure. Now females, whether fair or unfair, they get a little bit more leeway. Like, especially I come from a Puerto Rican household where 9 times out of 10, the daughter does not leave the house until she's going with her husband. So it's a little different way that you handle it. So yeah, I might, and even still, like my baby girl, I don't let her get away with just anything. There is certain things like my son, like I stand a little bit firm on. I admit I'm guilty of that. But like even with baby girl, she got it. One day her daddy ain't gonna be here.
Hello.
One day your mama ain't gonna be here. Did you set her up to stand on her own?
Prepared, exactly.
That's why.
Because if you didn't set up to stand on her own, she gonna go with whoever is around.
Exactly.
And that may not be the person you
That's
want
why I
around.
would say, me personally, I treat my daughter and my son the same. Because I ain't gonna lie, I got the same expectations because the same expectations that everybody else see my son, I want them to see as my daughter because I feel like, me as a man that has a young woman, I want her to go and say, I can do better than a man because it's still some powerful women out here. When you got a daughter, they show you that, and sometimes you gotta listen to it. So I still want her to have the same expectations as my son.
Gotcha. And that's another thing. Like when you say like with a daughter, always remember like how you treat your daughter is how she's gonna expect to be treated.
Yeah.
So if you raise the bar, like my daughter, she probably gets mostly everything she wants. But you know what happens when she gets older? She just not gonna be impressed by you taking her to McDonald's, like, or you act like you did her a favor. Right. The first thing come out her mouth, I could call my daddy for that. But if you're not present and she can't say that, now she impressed. Now she doing whatever they let. Now she getting treated however they allow. She, they however they feel like treating her. So that go back to 2. Make sure you're handling these kids correctly because it may be small now. It'll show itself eventually.
But it's just like us mothers who raise sons. How we present ourselves to our sons is what they're gonna want when they get older.
That's a fact.
So when you have a good, strong man that's raised up like they're supposed to be, but then daughters raised up like they're supposed to be, but then I got my son who come along and only thing he knows is men running in and out the house, me wearing titties and boobs and all that, that's all he sees, that's what he's gonna expect. So when he come across the daughters that are good, you know what I'm saying, you bypass them. So now you have a man that's at a standstill because, you know what I'm saying?
Toxic like me.
And correct, because you have a good girl and then you have a bad boy. So, you get together and now it's corruption. So even males raising daughters, you know what I'm saying, it's hard on us females too because you always want to keep this perfect image for your son to look at, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might party and drink on the weekends, but my son will never see that side of me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be like, well, why you don't let your son come around you? Okay, well, it's certain things that he shouldn't even be exposed to at this age. He's too young, you know what I'm saying? But then you have the other set of people like my mom, me and her fell out a couple of times because she tell me I exposed my son to too much. Well, the world we're living in today, I have to sit my son down and talk to him about homosexuality. His mom like girls, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to expose my son to something like that for a prime example, he needs to know this is not how life is supposed to be, but this is mama's choice. You supposed to be with a girl, you know what I'm saying? Now if my son grows up to be gay and people be like, oh, well, you exposed it to him when he was younger. Okay, I exposed it, but can't nobody ever say I never taught my son right from wrong. And that's what I feel like our parents failed at. They sheltered us. And then when we got out, we was exposed to a lot of stuff. And we don't know how to handle those things because we were so sheltered as kids. And I know me growing up, my parents were pastors. I wore skirts until 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? With long New Balances by this long, like I was like
strict. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to hanging and stay. Miguel, my cousin, I couldn't go to his house. You know what I'm saying? When I went to family function, I had to sit beside my mama. I couldn't even play with my male cousins. So as I grow up, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm supposed to like boys at this goddamn point because shit, I get a whooping for liking boys. You see me talking to a boy, I'm on punishment. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm exploring. Okay, let me see if I go out there and mess with a boy, is it right around? But I know I'm gonna get a beating, so let me stay on the girl side. So as I'm older, back to mental illness, I battle with that a lot. Because if I'm gay, because I was sheltered from boys when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? Or is that something that I really like and enjoy? Or is I'm traumatized from it, so I just don't even choose to do that? Because all my relationships has been bad except for this relationship I'm in now. So it's a battle because I might have something good in front of me, but my mind plays back to I knew I always got in trouble with it. So how do a person like me keep going, you know what I'm saying, in life when, like he said, the little stuff, it just don't happen up here. It starts down here. But my parents say, oh, well, this and that and that and this, it was small. It was small, but look how it affects you when you get older. You know what I'm saying?
Into this,
The real questions.
when is the last time you cried?
Oh.
Last week.
And
Last week because, like, I'm the one that everybody in my family comes to with their problems. So when I needed to talk to somebody in my family outside of her about my problems, it's like, dang, nobody wants to listen. And crying was my only outlet. Like, I cried it out. I hit the black. I smoked my black. I took a couple shots and I was like, psh. I cried about it, washed my hands with it. And when I cry about a situation, after I cry about it, I'm done with it. Like,
I feel so much better after I done cried because I get into my head so much, and it's just like when I'm alone, it's just at the worst times I either drink myself to sleep, or I just cried out, and I feel so much better after.
You know, we all been trying to live tough, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want each other saying, damn, bro, you over there crying or something. But then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like, an event in our lives just happened. It's like so tragic, don't nobody really like talking about it because, you know what I'm saying, we all just still should be like, damn, that shit really just happened. So it's like, bro, like my auntie don't came big baby, I'm boss baby, twin boss baby, even Junior don't became boss baby. When I say boss baby, I'm talking about we just been, you know what I'm saying, we'll veer off and we'll have a little conversation. Cause, you know, my uncle passed away, if y'all want to know what I'm talking about. My uncle passed away. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of touched me because, you know, I mean, I ain't never spoke on it because I don't never say nothing because, you know, I try to keep my emotions and my feelings balled up just in case the right person come along and mess with me. I'm just going to use that on them, you know what I'm saying? But it won't be their fault. But I try to think about it. But, you know, long story short, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I never talked about it, but I just feel like everything, you know, happened for a reason and God called us home for a reason, but I just feel like sometimes he makes a mistake. And I know you can't question, you never should question the highest power, but you know, sometimes when you have just the best person in this world that everybody in this world need, and then you care for somebody for so long, but that person that you care about turn around and be the person that ends everything that you built and worked so hard for. And it's like, you're not understanding that person that loved you, and I mean, this is as strong as you can say it, I mean, the person that loves you the most and care for you, you still here, but now he's not. And you know, sometimes there's people out there, you know, that don't like you no more, and you know, it's kind of hard living that way. So you know, we cry every day because sometimes you gotta humble yourself, knowing that you know you gotta keep it moving, and you know what I'm saying, live on in somebody else's name, and you know what I'm saying, bring that happiness to everybody else's life, but deep down inside you don't happen. So, like I said, sometimes here lately we've been crying a lot lately, and it's not easy to say, and not especially as no man. But I'm sorry, even as a man, we cry. You know, I feel the shit. You can still be a man at the end of the day, but when we get home, you know what I'm saying. It's us times. You talk to me.
But I'm saying,
so again, other than yourself, who do you need to forgive?
My dad, my son's dad,
My biological dad.
my father.
so everybody gonna say parents.
Yeah, so basically everybody. Cause I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
And why haven't you forgiven him? Because you all knew who you need to forgive. Why are you still giving him that power?
Because in the back of my mind, I hear my mama saying, they still your daddy. But the enemy is like...
We just had a conversation earlier.
I know, but you just asked me this question. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's a fact, dude.
What you said?
My daddy, but at the same time, you still hurt me.
Yeah, you hurt me, and it's like I can forgive you. I mean, I can forget all of this stuff, but can I really forgive you from it? Like, me and my dad, we don't have a father-daughter relationship anymore for this very reason. We have a friendship. Sometimes we have a friendship. He tries to do more stuff for the kids because he feels guilty for what he did not do for me or for what he allowed to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get too deep into it, but long story short, it's like, damn, I be wanting to forgive him, but at the same time, it's like, fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, bye, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, when he hit me up, I be like, what's up? Like, we talk like friends. We don't talk like, Dad, I'm going through this. Like, how I want my kids to come talk to me. We don't have that. We don't have that at all. Like, and it sucks. Like, that's why I told you, hug your son, baby. Like, it's okay. A lot of times I wish I could have hugged my dad, or my dad would have reached out and be like, you know what, come hug me. It doesn't just fall on me and the boys, it's on everybody. But my dad didn't do me like that. My dad treated me like I was the stepchild, and the stepkids were his kids. It was like, how the hell?
Still treat you like that too?
My daddy still treat me like that. If I call my dad right now and tell him I need something, he will not do it. But my sister will go right behind me, or my brothers will go right behind me and call me the very same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, here I go.
That's why I said I was going to change my answer. I said parents, but I think it's more so deeper than that. Yeah. And people love to say that I go too deep, and that's cool because I'm going to stay who I am. I think it's anybody that we feel done did us wrong that we can't forgive, because then we live our life based on what they did in the past rather than moving to the future, pushing ourselves further than what they did, because you'll always sit there and go, well, he didn't do this, and I can't even call him that. Not saying you, because I'm speaking on me, because I don't know my real father, you feel me, and he knows this, and I've never expressed that. I got sisters and brothers out there that I'll never be, probably to this day, and I have to look at it like, I can't be mad at them. I can't move and look at my son this way like, nah, you can't call your granddad, you can't do that, you can't do that. No, you gotta squash that and let it be the present for what it is, because it's called present because it is a gift. You can't hold on to the past for the simple fact that you can't go and it's intangible. You can't go grab that again. What you live in right now in the moment is what you gotta perceive as everything you doing in your life for your kids, yourself, to push forward. Now, if your past is something that is driving you to be forceful for your children, cool. But I think that I'm so much for letting that go. You know what I'm saying? So I think that to answer his question, I think I gotta stop holding on to stuff that I can't let go, and eventually let it go to push forward. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't change that. I can't change you. You know what I'm saying?
That's that forgive and don't forget.
Yeah.
You can forgive the person, but you don't want to forget.
Yeah, sometimes
I pushed on from the shit that I
sometimes people confuse forgive, which means like I gotta come to you and say, hey, I forgive you.
Right.
But sometimes forgiving is just like, yo, you good, but you gotta speak forgive me straight.
You gotta come to me.
But I can't allow that power that you have in you
to influence me.
That goes back to mental health. As long as you allow yourself, you allow them that power, you allowing them power over you.
That's where boundaries come in. You forgive the person, but you don't forget what they did. You set that boundary so they don't push it.
Like that. Alright, so I ain't gonna talk. Alright, next question. How do you all handle death?
Yeesh. Terrible. Terrible.
Real numb.
I can't even lie. Terrible.
You might always just cut off all you.
My grandma's she has Alzheimer's dementia the past 2 years, and right now she's on bed rest. So for me, it's a process. You gotta look at it, and you gotta accept it. Say, this person's gonna die soon. So you gotta.
Yeah.
It's a step-by-step process.
And I'm telling you from experience, with my grandma that just passed in September, I did not do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I was like, because that's your grandma. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, my grandma gonna get better. Like, she gotta get better. Like, she has to get better. And it's like, I tried to prepare myself for it, but you can never be prepared for something like that. And she passed away the day after her birthday. Fucked up, but I learned from it. Like, and a death that happened after that, I handled that 10 times better, because like, I can't always resort to a bottle every time something's going on wrong with my life.
And AD, from y'all, podcast the other day said it real great when he was talking to Jay Wall. Shout out to y'all for that. Show them love while they're here. A lot of people overlook this, like we were talking about earlier. It's the small things. Go give them a hug. Show them that you're the person that they want you to be. Well, not necessarily like, puppet string want to be, but shine on them, you know what I'm saying, for them while they're here. Because, elderly and even family members, sometimes they're in their lane. They can't get outside of it, and they want to see you fulfill your life for what it really is. So show them that you can do that while they're here. So once they pass, that's what AD was saying to Jay Wall about his biggest fear of his grandparents passing away. And I stuck with that too, because my dad's mom passed away, and I never seen such a strong man hold his son, his oldest son, like that, while we, you know what I'm saying, and ask me, did I fulfill my life? I can't answer that for you. You gotta answer that for yourself. That's where this mentality thing come in, and I love being here with y'all and just pushing off this conversation, because we need to hear this. There's small things that we miss sometimes, and it can be life-changing. He don't know if he did anything right. My dad is fixing cars. My dad is building houses, because that's what she told him to do while she was here, and he didn't do it. So now he's beating himself up about it. So while they're here, try to listen to them, hug them, be with them. And then when they pass, know that they looking down on you, like AD said to Jay Wall. They proud of you. They proud of you. They here with you. Seriously.
That was an excellent answer. All right, who here has ever thought about suicide? What?
It's like, yo.
What drove you to that point?
Tattoo.
Everything.
Why look, what is it?
My son having COVID. Me it. Holding on to old shit. Relationship. Everything. And everything just went dark. Like, I literally woke up and I had this plaque in my bathroom. It says it's not a matter of how many breaths you take, it's a matter of how many moments you take your breath away. That's all I can remember looking at. The whole moment. And same, calling people. I literally was calling everybody, nobody was answering. And I just kept getting sick. I literally had the gun in my head, and my son walked downstairs. And he's like, Mommy, what are you doing? My son was 4, he was 3 at the time, right before he turned 4. And I was sick to my stomach, because everything started coming back, and it was like, babe, why you holding on to this? Like, why did you give this so much power? Like, why did you dwell on this for so long? And I checked myself into the hospital because I needed help. I needed help for me, and I knew when my son said, my son was like, I'm not going nowhere. He just kept hugging me and kissing on me. He was like, I'm not leaving. I was like, down, let's go upstairs. He's like, no. Like, no, Mommy, no. He cried and cried and cried and sat on them steps and straight cried. And I called to everybody. And I was like, you know what? I found a number on Google, some local therapist. And she was like, just do me a favor and go to the hospital. I didn't know what was going to happen. I got to the hospital. They made me take off everything. Like, I was locked up. And they were like, you know, go to this room.
West Ward or something like that?
Yeah.
One West at the house in Meadow.
Yeah, they take everything from you, and they put you in this scrub. They sat me in this room, and I remember these doctors still coming in, was like, how'd you get here? What happened? What'd you do? And I'm like, man, I don't even remember. I remember looking at this plaque on the bed, in the bathroom, and I remember sitting in the corner. I was sitting just like this in the corner of my side section, and my son coming downstairs. And the only thing that woke me up was my son said, Mommy, what are you doing? And I was like sick to my soul, y'all. Let me tell y'all, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. And I had some complicated pregnancies. Like, I was homeless for some time. But that was the hardest thing I had to deal with, because it was like, I'm not even sure if I really want, I knew for a fact that's what I wanted to do. But when my son came, it was like, do you really want your son to see this? Do you really want this to be in your son's head? Your son is at the age where he knows what's happening. It's like, it's sickening, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be regretting it. Sometimes I look at my kids and it's like, damn, I was about to leave y'all. But then I be like, and I think that's probably why I be feeling like I don't do enough for them. because I be still
That
like,
makes perfect sense. You still
like,
thinking about
yeah, because it was like,
before.
damn, I almost left my kids, and it's like, I love my kids. Like, those are my boo. They get on my nerves. Y'all kids get on your nerves, but I love my kids. Like,
we had a breakthrough. I think that sounds like that's that guilt that got you.
that's what it was. And you was talking about the crying thing. I'm gonna cry now. But I literally cried last week. We just found out my son has tumors. And he had his first procedure last week. And I cried right after we text. And I was like, it was like, just because you had said, wow, I'm sorry to hear that, he gonna be okay. Some of you had said like that. And it was like, I felt it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I felt like, girl, your son gonna be alright. He gonna be okay. Like, it was like, damn. Nah. Had you not texted me, I would went straight in my room and just closed the door, smoked myself out, and just went to sleep. But I was like, I needed to cry. I needed to get all that because I've been trying to be so strong for so long, y'all. Like,
Darius is your best friend.
Y'all not catching it, man. Everything we talking about is just flowing right back into place.
Exactly.
You got that 1 out of 10 phone call. You got that friend. I didn't know what to say.
You did. You was just like, it was like, but you know how you can tell. So like, if me and you in a relationship, and I say, even over the phone, that I love you, and you feel it, you like, yeah, I know this person loves me. You know what I'm saying? I felt him telling me what he was saying, and it was like my whole body just wanted to fall to the floor. It like I just became so loose and relaxed. And it was like, oh my God. Like, Asia was at the house. I walked right past Asia. I walked right past my kid. And I made sure Dallas was in the room, but Dallas still high his ass. You know, he was just loony. But it was just for myself. I had to be strong at the hospital. I can't cry in front of my son. I cry, he gonna start crying. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this because I don't want him to see this. So when can I do it? So now I'm sitting here, and I literally went and I sat on the steps, and I was so quiet, and I just cried so hard. But it wasn't because I was sad, it was because I was relieved. It was like, you know what? It was like somebody was speaking through, right? I swear to God, I'm gonna cry. Don't do this. Woo.
That go back to like y'all said, like they said earlier, well, I don't know what to say. Sometimes you just say what you feel. There is no right answer to honesty. Like, yo, it's gonna be okay. If you feel like it's gonna be okay, they gonna feel that. That's all people need sometimes. You can't solve everybody's problems. All you can do is honestly be there. Which again, we all fall victim of being a friend when it's convenient. I think now we all can take away that. Maybe now, you know, I mean, we still not always gonna answer the phone.
Right.
But every now and then, maybe this might be one more phone call with an answer than I would have previously. Right. And that might be the one phone call you need to answer.
But that's the thing, like, I didn't even call, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was talking about something totally different, and I was like, you know, I can't because this is what's going on. And it was like, Asia knew what's going on. Everybody, you know, people that's supposed to know what's going on, but it was like, Asia tell me everything gonna be okay all the time. It was like, I needed that outsider, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't understand, like, being strong like I have been for my kids is hard work. Like, being a parent is the hardest job I've ever had in my life. But
go back to that crying.
Listen, and you know what? It don't even mean I'm not sad. I'm really not sad. Yeah, it was just like I'd be relieved because it's like if I know for a fact if I call this man, and this is honestly why I came today. This is why I cannot miss today because I was like, he looked out for me and don't even know he looked out for me like that. That's why I didn't speak up when he was talking about the phone call thing because it was like, he don't even know he just did this for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were talking about, he know what we're talking about. We're talking way different. But it brought it to us like, damn, man, like, and I saw this stuff for an hour before Asia even knew I was sitting there like, she was like, why you moving around so quiet? And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even, I'm just so stuck on the fact that this man just told me that something will be okay. And I felt like, you know what? For the first time in a long time, it's going to be okay. And it wasn't apparent. It wasn't even, we cool. We ain't like everyday chilling type, you know what I'm saying, cool. It was a complete like somebody told him to tell me, and I felt all of it. And it was like, man, y'all.
That kind of goes back to why everybody's sitting here for this podcast. Like every episode is always people think they can't do certain things. Then I put people, not just random people in where you're from. These are people from where you're from, sitting here telling you I'm going through the same things that, like we said, like last episode, it's sometimes, you know, pride won't allow you to just come up and say, hey, how you did that, or hey, how you did with that. You don't have to do that now. I'm putting people here. I'm making the calls and people telling them to come sit here. They telling you how they deal with that. Literally, all you got to do is click on a video and watch it now. So, and that's growing the community because now they might see y'all here. They're like, oh, so and so came on this episode. You know, like I said, I need to say too. Now they on the episode. They learn something from you. You might turn around and watch the next episode. Now you learned something from them that you all never would have had that conversation. Never would have known they felt like that had you all never sat here. Which is why, like I told you at the beginning, this is why y'all were picked for this episode because somebody. I mean, it was a lot of people wanted to be. Clearly, y'all saying that people were here. It was a lot of people wanted to be here, but maybe that one person I would have said to come wouldn't have sat here and just been as honest as like you were. So now guess what? You didn't share that story. Whoever's still dealing with that is still dealing with that. That's why I told y'all answers. Y'all were picked for a reason, and I do appreciate how y'all been answering it because y'all taking it serious. These are things everybody isn't strong enough to say yet. So some questions I feel like y'all might be thinking, oh man, I sound weak. You actually sound strong because you let me come out your mouth when other people still haven't reached that point.
Here. Like you are still here. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, damn y'all, my kids getting on my nerves, but I'm still here with them. Like it is a blessing. Like y'all don't understand. Like I smile every day. That's why I joke around a lot on Facebook because I know what it's like being that dark place. Like, oh my God.
I feel like I say every episode, tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Yes.
Like sometimes literally the biggest fight you gotta have is just getting out the bed every day. And people underestimate that because it's not like they'll say, why you can't get out the bed? I don't know. Again, that goes back to child. It's just a build up until one day I just can't do it. Nope. And the issue becomes we need to do the best we can to avoid that day. Because once you reach that point, it's usually a downhill slope. So that goes back to every day, are you that consistent friend? I know everybody got a lot going on. It don't take much time to send a text. Yo, you good? Sometimes like I don't even start I send my own boy, hey, hope your day going good, man. Just want to let you know I love you. Like you don't need to respond to that. I don't have a lot of time in my day. I don't need a lot of time in my day. It's a simple text. So copy it. Now I just gotta click your name in my contact and send it to you.
Copy it. But I was thinking about you. Like
I'm thinking about you. The fact I said it and it doesn't change. Like honestly, I'm copying and pasting the same thing, but is it the truth? Like, do I need to really write out, hey, I love you to every single person? Does it change the fact, or did you still get the message? Like, a lot of people think it takes a lot of time to do these things. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It takes the effort to answer that phone call when I don't feel like talking to you, just to say I understand. All those things seem small until you sitting at the funeral, and now it's a big situation. And you know what? Ain't no more text coming through. It's it. That's it. You wish you would have responded then, right? So think about that next time. It's like, man, nah, so-and-so called. They got all this drama. I ain't trying to hear it. You may be the only one who can hear it. So.
Can I like say something real quick? You know, it's funny that y'all was talking about social media and all this stuff. I literally joke around so much that last year when all this stuff was happening to me and I kept saying I was done, people was laughing. Like, they were literally laughing at the post. Like, girl, you so crazy. Like, I could literally put my, you know what I'm saying, like my will on Facebook and y'all will laugh at it because I joke around so much. But it was like the real people understood what was happening to me.
And that becomes an issue when people use jokes to hide pain that sometimes
But it wasn't a joke. That's the thing. I literally put, man, I'm done, y'all. Like, I'm so tired.
But the issue is when you consistently joke,
exactly,
we think you're still joking.
Exactly.
Like, especially because, like you said earlier, like with your baby daddy, I play a lot, I don't mean it like that. So, all right, well, you say you don't mean baby daddy, why do we think you mean this?
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. Like, it was like, damn, like, I told everybody, you know what I'm saying?
And even if they knew you were serious, like we said earlier when Miguel was here, it's up to them to judge it however they want to. Because you put it out there like that.
Because had you met me on Facebook, you would have been like, this girl is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you met me on Facebook. And who I am on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Now you meet me in person. Yeah. So it's like, damn, she got.
Technically, y'all met on the Talk to Me Nice podcast.
Well, thanks to you. Technically, it wasn't like a conversation we had, like, let me get to know who this person is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, now she's not a robot.
Friendships are podcast.
And not the podcast. I said this again, that go back to, like, y'all don't realize how big y'all taking time out y'all day to sit and talk to people in your community is. Because guess what? Now all of you all, I'm sure 9 times 10 y'all gonna add everybody on Facebook. Y'all all friends on Facebook now. Y'all all
Instagram, everybody.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't adding none of y'all.
Just tell me your TikTok, because my
son be on all the time.
But that's what that allows us to do now. Like, this is open in the community more than y'all realize, because now y'all all have been in Walmart. None of y'all have spoke to each other. Right. Now, hey, we did something together before, didn't we? I know you. Now you're opening conversations now. Like you said, I ain't had nobody to talk to. Y'all see y'all talking all the time now. Y'all, like, this stuff, like, creates conversations. You're now adding people. So, like, I feel alone. You got, it was, what, 12 people here earlier who all said they willing to talk. Now, do they all mean that? I guess we'll find out. But there's 9 times out of 10, I would bet out of those 12, probably 3 or 4 actually meant what they said. So even if you only got those 3 or 4, that's 3 or 4 more people than you have when you walk through this door. So it's something to think about. As people come from the community, everybody on these episodes say the same thing, that they want to grow the community. This is how you do it. Every one of you all took that step. Every one of you all are representing somebody who wasn't represented before. So, like, these great conversations y'all having, don't let it stop when the camera turns off. Exactly. Like, conversation started now. You don't have to be sitting on the Talk to Me Nice podcast to talk to people nice, though. Like, literally, these people, you've met them, you clearly see they willing to have conversations. Remember that as you go on. Just, like, you know, y'all be friends. Somebody comments something on Facebook, keep your conversations going. That makes more people add in, man. Just, the only way we better the community is by everybody sitting here. So, don't take that lightly what y'all doing. Yeah, but what is something that you regret? It can just be from your life.
I don't want to say this and be rude about it.
It's a judgment-free zone.
And it's going to sound really messed up. But I don't regret having my daughter, my last daughter. I regret having her at the time I had her. Because mentally, I was not prepared for 3 children.
It's not wrong, man.
I'm still not prepared, but I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I have no other choice really. But honest to God, I would never tell her this. And I pray to God she'll never see this. But if she does, Remy, I love you so much. I just don't think that we should have had you at this time. It was entirely too much going on. Like I said, we just found out about my son and all this other stuff, and my son already being autistic. That's like 3 kids in one. So being in a household of 3 tourists, it's like I'm in a house of 6 kids, and just, you know, and it's a battle every single day. But I know that kind of sound wrong to some people. I don't mean no harm by it. I love my daughter. Y'all can see I love my daughter. That's my baby. But timing just was not there for me.
One thing I regret is trying to fit in with my family, trying to open up to my dad. Because there was an instance when I was a teenager, you know, me and my dad didn't have a good relationship growing up. So I literally told him that, you know, hey Dad, we don't talk much, you know, we need to talk more. And his answer was, okay, talk about what? You know, if you got a kid saying that, that means the kid wants to talk. You know, that was a straight answer. He just said, okay, talk about what? And then I tried again, you know, I told him, you know, I was going through some stuff, you know, I need to maybe talk to a specialist, talk to a counselor. And his answer was, okay, you're just overreacting. And that goes back to the dads being too masculine. You know, so that's why we got to teach our kids to open up more. Because, you know, open up more, they're going to treat their sons like that. And it's just going to be a revolving cycle.
And I try not to.
I'm trying.
And also, when we was off camera, but when we took a break, a lot of things we say is teach them. And like I was saying to some of the cast members before they left, learn from them too. Because they can, your children can literally teach you how to be a better parent. In your situation, talking to your dad, that was a learning moment from him. But he was still trying to be in that masculine role, not understanding he should open up to his child. Not to say he's a bad person or anything, but he's not learning anything. He wouldn't be, what they say, stuck in his ways or whatever. And that's what parents have to learn, and that's what we have to learn as newer parents, especially in the newer generation. And to piggyback, and I was about to say, to piggyback off you, if your son want a hug or something like that, learn that from him.
But right now I can't. It's just, I feel like deep down inside, right now I can't give him that because, you know, still, you know, when you go through like the situation that I went through, you know what I'm saying, and I don't talk to people, but you know what I'm saying, when you go through the situation I'm through, you learn how to adapt. When I say that, you be around a lot of different people, and you know, these are males, and you know, And you know, you have to turn into a whole different person. And you know, sometimes I wake up in the morning and sometimes I live through the day and I'm like, man, I don't want to be around this person or these people because I know that I've been locked in the cage for so long. It's like now I might have all these little predators and when I prank something, I may look like I'm not gonna do nothing, but I'm gonna make a big bite.
I feel you, bro.
I can see your guard. I see even when we started the episode, I can see you was a little stand out. You can tell now the energy kind of took you over. Now you talking, you chilling. You understand this? We here because we support you. Sometimes people don't realize that, and that's like you said, environments you've been in, you start to look for the negatives in it. Then you realize there's no negatives.
But see, you know, it's still if you haven't been taught because all you've been doing is being destructive in the streets and stuff. And not caring how nobody else feels.
And nobody can change how you feel. But the thing that we can tell you is you're not by yourself.
Real quick, I'll make it very short. Now, when people say feelings and people go to grab me, you know, accessories, you know, sometimes when a person commits a crime, you know, and they already been through, you know, everything they need to go through. They're not really the same person, so you know, you don't really have to watch stuff. Cause I'm sorry, you know, half the time when I go somewhere, people actually do that because when they look at me, they going to prejudge because you know they already think it's all they, you know.
That was the point of saying what I said.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Look, check this out. So how about when people do that to me? I already done bought half of the stuff y'all pulling away from me. I already, you know what I'm saying? You posting pictures of you going to like this Clearwater beach, but bro, I already been there 5 times.
Talk.
Or you saying, oh bro, I got this scat, or I got that Corvette, bro. Everybody in our family and plus me and my pops and them, we can show you, bro. We don't own this, so that's not valuable to us. But you can't take account that I made a mistake in my life and this is how I am for the rest of my life. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, people know me as I do tattoos, so bro, I'm an expensive person. I may not look like it because if I come casual like this, but if I step out, if I really step, you'll be mad. So it's a lot of people that judge feelings. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So if I step out, you'll be mad, but you've been out here this whole time. I've been locked up. So because you hear felon behind my name, you go to grabbing your shit. So excuse my language. So when I step out, now I got everything that you want. Because I done been there, I done that, and now you want what I got because now you got it and I already done had it.
And that's why I was saying what I said, because they'll look at you different from me because I ain't got a lot of tattoos. They'll think that my life perfect and not realizing that I'm fighting the same battle you probably don't fought.
So everybody kind of got their strategies, and a lot of times, sometimes people's strategies is just kind of hiding it. So given that mental disorders are technically diagnosed by the symptoms you present, when I was kind of looking into questions and research for this podcast, I noticed that a lot of people won't seek help due to like a social stigma because they're scared to be labeled as, like this came up, even for this question, labeled as like weak, things like that. What advice, maybe this doesn't pertain necessarily to you, but what advice can you give people who understand that they need help? Because sometimes people know they need help, but they won't get it.
I felt like I was struggling a lot, but then I got stronger when I reached out for help, and I kept feeling like I shouldn't reach out because my family gonna feel some type of way. They're gonna judge me. They already judged me. I'm already also misunderstood. They already gonna feel she's just crazy and whatever the case may be. But no, I did not do it for anybody else. I did it for me, and I don't regret any moment of it.
I'm gonna say one thing, like you said, people don't realize that, I don't want to get help because they're gonna judge me. You realize they're gonna judge you regardless.
They gonna judge you. Live your life. Live your life.
You know what I'm saying?
Live your life. Even if you're happy, they still gonna judge you.
Even if it reaches the point where you commit suicide, you know what? They gonna judge you for killing yourself.
So really, you gotta let all that.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out.
But it's not easy. It's honestly, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I know.
It's not easy.
I can't see the point.
So I said reaching out was like the strongest thing I have ever done in my life. Like getting help was honestly the strongest thing I've ever done.
Humble yourself.
And
you gotta humble yourself. J. Cole new song said, "What pride is the devil." Like you put yourself on this stigma that nobody else is putting you on, where you should lower yourself to a point where you can get the help on your own. If you feel like you gotta reach out to Facebook, what I was saying earlier was don't put your business out there, but if you need help, ask for it.
Yeah,
and if that's the only platform you can do it on, do it. But we all stated earlier that we all have somebody we can at least talk to. So ask that person to be serious with them, because like I said, a lot of people, as soon as I said that Dairy Vibe, they know I joke around, but I also know how to get serious with people, because a lot of that joking stuff get overplayed and people don't take you serious, like the boy cried wolf, when it's really some serious shit and you like, man, I really want to take myself out. Hey, stop playing, bro. So sometimes you gotta find somebody who really gonna listen to you, humble yourself and tell them like, I really need help. The first step they say is admitting that you need that shit. And that comes with taking away that prideful moment and humbling yourself seriously to let yourself know this is something I really want to do. Because I got, and I'm not scared to say it on camera, I got 2 DUIs. And he had to tell me, as a brother, you're not gonna drink in my house because I seen what it did to you, and he helped me. And before he said that, I reached out to him, like, bro, what am I doing wrong? And he let me know. So that shit was out the window. That certain shit you gotta, like, it's not about saying, and there's nothing going against what you said, because everything you're saying is right, because people do feel weak. People feel like they weak for that. And you gotta throw that shit out the window and show yourself stronger than what you thought you were to put yourself higher than that bottom spot that you was in.
And to piggyback off that, like you said, like with the drinking, like sometimes we fall victim to, it's not just weak that, you know, on your own self. Like, I've known him forever. As long as I know him, he is a drinker. And like I said, we used to live together. So like I'm seeing him drink every day. People will come over and like, you know, he might walk away for a second. That come to me like, yo, Darius kind of drinking a lot. No, he good. He good. And then Darius get a DUI. All right. Damn, Darius, you tripping. You tripping. Yeah. And then again, every day, yo, he drinking a lot. Yo, what's going on with him? Yeah. Man, Darius good. Darius handling liquor. Second DUI. Now it reaches the point where, yo, I'm not your daddy, but as your brother, I gotta tell you this now, or I may not ever get a chance to take it. At this point, I am enabling you at this point. And one of those DUIs, you may not live to come tell us about it. And then who am I? Oh man, I can't believe that happened to him. Can you really? You watch him drink every day for 10 years. So that's when it reaches the point like, yo, I can't help you kill yourself. Like if you want to drink, you're a grown man. If you leave here and you go take 10 shots, you got that right to do so. But you're not gonna leave here after taking 10 shots. Yeah. So as your brother, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just not about to contribute to what you're doing. So you can't drink in my house because I know what happened. It's not that you know for whatever reason, you know, you can't drink because whatever I'm trying to tell you to do. It's because I know what happens when you drink, and I'd rather stop you from drinking now, and we can talk instead of letting you drink and we never have a conversation. Like that's a deep one because for years I did ignore it. Like, damn man, Darius tripping, man. But like, bro, like it came a point, bro. I was worried, like, Dad, you gonna kill yourself, man. And who am I to let you kill yourself and watch you every day kill yourself? Like, even when I bought this house, he would stay on me for a while every day. Like he go out to the garage and just hang out there. Every time I walk out there, he drink. Like, bro, this ain't gonna work. And like I said, y'all don't realize how much I want him to win. Like for years, I've done everything I possibly could to keep your head up. You gonna win. You gonna win. But I realized the person who was holding you back, it was me. Because you looking at me, everything, I never realized how serious you took everything I said to you. Like he said a few times, this is my mental, people always, even his mom called, yo, Darius not listening, you need to talk to Darius. Everybody's saying you need to talk to Darius, Darius drinking too much. I ain't said a word. Darius getting DUIs. I'm still, yo, it's good. Like, you waiting, like, we can blame, that's another thing, like, you gotta realize where you're, like, who, it's not what you may see yourself as. Same reason y'all sitting here. You may not think you that important. I may think what you say is important. The same way I said, yo, bro, you can't drink here. He went from drinking every day, he never drunk in my house again. He hadn't got another DUI since. Y'all gotta stop thinking that, yo, I mean, it's okay. It's not okay. And if you think it's okay now, then still think it's okay when you sit in front row at their funeral. still keep that same energy. Nah, it was okay, man. He can handle his drinks. Like, and one thing I said, like, I mean, you grown. I can only do so much, but sometimes you gotta be honest with yourself. I'm not about to help bury you. So think about that when you're dealing with your friends. Like, are you actually helping them? Like, just ignoring it? Because sometimes they're waiting for somebody. Like you said, everybody feels alone. They waiting on that one person to say, yo, don't do that. So sometimes you're not strong enough yourself. That's why everybody says they have somebody. Everybody says they are that person. Again, are you really? Because again, honestly, I was not that person until I finally said, you can't do this here. So that's just something to think about. And that kind of goes to my next question. He kind of just, and I know he was dealing with it, which kind of goes to my next question about like drinking, things like that. I know he was, and that's my fault, I know he was going through a lot, and that's how he coped with it, which was wrong. The drinking and things like that. And from my standpoint, again, we all guilty of it. I had so much going on my own end. Hey man, he handling it, he drinking, he fine. I can't even have that conversation right now. So we all fall victim of not being that friend that needs to be there. As far as anybody else other than him, is anybody, do you all hide? I know you kind of mentioned that you were drinking after, you know, somebody passed away in your family. Anybody else here kind of use drugs? This is not a conversation about legal, illegal, I don't care less about that. About drugs, alcohol, kind of as something to hide what you got going on.
I went through that phase once when my family started acting funny after I got married. I was starting to drink 2-3 times a week, and I felt like, you know, I had to drink, because when you drink, you kind of numb that pain. It got to the point where my wife was telling me, hey, you need to kind of cut back on a little bit. So I did have that problem, but you know, I don't drink no more because I.
So for somebody who's still struggling with trying to find a different way out of drinking, what got you to stop drinking, or what could you maybe tell them to find something different than maybe that drinking?
I would just say, you know, you just gotta find, well, this is from my personal experience, you know, you just gotta find that hobby that you've been wanting to do for a while, you know. Boxing's been my kind of escape from that, because I used to drink to kind of numb that pain, but now, you know, I'm usually at my gym boxing, letting that pain out. So, you know, for me, it was a little bit easier to handle, but anyone who has, you know, any mental condition, you gotta see counseling, because that's what we did. You know, we went to saw a marriage counselor. And if that didn't happen, then, you know, it might have been a little bit rougher. So, you know, that's where we're going back. You know, don't be afraid to open up. Because if you don't open up, you know, you can deal with it now, but it's going to keep building up, building up, building up. And it's going to pass on to someone else. And then you're just going to, you know, just make things harder than it should have been. So, first step is just opening up. You know, it's not weak to open up.
It's so important, man. I do appreciate y'all for just coming and talking about this, man. Which we're down to our last few questions, man, and these next 2 questions are kind of centered more around, I guess, communities. And these next questions, I mean, with 100% respect, but mainly from what I hear from these communities, it's about, I constantly hear a feeling of being alone. So we're going to start with this next question. As far as a member of the military, of course, you know, I love my Army, but let's talk about military, mental stability. Those 2 things, we're being honest, they don't usually go together. So, and I do got, you know, you're in the military, correct? Okay, so we got a vet here, and then you're thinking about being in the military. I currently am in the military, so we got, and then we got the people from the outside who also still will be involved in this, because a lot, if you all don't know, maybe you don't know, there is a very high suicide rate in the military. Reason is, a lot of people feel alone. That's just what it is. You go, and then people don't realize that if you're on the outside looking in, and as me, I'm just a member of the reserves. Like, I say I'm just a member, but I say that with respect for like the veterans who's been deployed, or the active duty members who are sent far away from their homes, where like, and the thing people don't realize, like with the Army, you can't just be homesick and decide you want to go home for the weekend. There is a process that you have to go through before you can leave that base. And if they tell you no, you are not going anywhere, which means if you're feeling alone and all you need is a weekend back home, you may not get it. And that's why those suicide rates stay that way, because now you're literally stuck. You can't go anywhere. You can't get any help. So my question with that is, are you checking on your people that are in the military? Are you checking on them? Are you going to see them? And a lot of people think that, oh, when you come home, I'll see you then. No, do you going on trips wherever you want to go? Can you not just go see them at their base? A lot of people don't realize, like, damn, 1 or 2 times just seeing my family might have changed my whole mood. I remember I was going like 4 months in Missouri with the Army, and every day I like people like I hate to like relate it back to like jail, but it's basically this. I mean, if we're being honest, it's kind of the same environment. You are stuck with 9 times 10, a lot of males, and you cannot go anywhere. I don't care if you want to go or not. You're not leaving here. So it's the same feelings that like most of the time. I mean, we all like people make jokes about it, how people are in jail. They all say the best things in the world while they're locked up. Same thing with the military. That's why people get married quickly in the military. It's funny, but if you don't realize the deeper meaning behind it, they feel alone. So yeah, they get married quick because, hey, I was alone. You're here. It's only been a week, but it's better than what I've been doing. Like, people don't realize all these things are deeper. So I don't know if you all have members in the military that you constantly speak to, but if you do, are you actually there for them? Like, and not how you think, because yeah, phone calls help, but like, if you go, I don't know how often y'all go on vacation, could you not take one of those vacations and go see them? Like, do you all reach out to them, let them know you're not alone? I mean, sometimes, like, even like when I was away, like, shit, sometimes phone calls work for me. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Like, it's really a lone feeling that, and that's why, I mean, you're just trapped. Like, think about it, if I say, yo, you gotta sit here, you're not leaving. For the next 9 months, you're just here. And you, well, I wanna go home, you're not going home.
Wish I could have did that for my parents.
I loved it.
To uplift that conversation, can we get some word from a female perspective since you are a vet? Is that okay?
You want to say something as far as the military topic?
Just for a female perspective off what he said.
I think with me, when it came to me being in the military, I felt, yeah, I had my family. You know, I was able to talk to my family every now and then, but at the same time, I still felt alone more so. Because I felt like no one else understood where I was coming from, where, you know, my mentality, my mindset, nobody understood me. And yes, I'm surrounded by all these different people from all walks of life and all these different people coming from all these different states and different countries and all this other things. And it's just like no one, I'm still by myself.
Like, you're around a lot of people and you feel alone.
Yes, and that's exactly how I felt.
And I don't blame people who are not in the military because they don't understand. You don't realize how it feels until it's you. Like, my father was in the military 20 years, 23 years, something like that. I never realized how he might have felt until it's me sitting there. Like, oh, what you mean? What you mean I can't call my kids until like next week? Like, I'm going through, so I'm having a bad day. What you mean I can't just reach out to my family real quick? Like, you gotta think, like, again, you need to be that 1 out of 10 phone call, that 1 out of 10 friend, especially with your military members. Because, like, even if they have 1,000 friends, they're not around. Sometimes they need you there. And that's something like for you, when you're thinking about joining, what thoughts, do you have any concerns? Have you thought of anything as you join that you're worried about?
The main thing I'm thinking about is really it's the wife, because I'm going to be gone here and there, and we're trying to get a house in Atlanta, and then I'm going to be gone. So it's just that it's going to be that balance. That's going to be the tough part. But from my experience, my brother was in the Army for 10 years. He fought in Vietnam, Iraq during that whole 9/11 spew. And I was the one that was always reaching out to him because he hasn't talked to my mom in over 10 years. And I'm that one family member that reaches out to my brother because the rest of my family don't like my brother. Because he was, I guess they never really got to know him. They don't know what happened between him and my mom, but they're gonna go and jump on mom's side, which is understandable, but you still gotta see their side first.
Absolutely.
So I was that one, like you said, that person that made that phone call. I was that one family member that actually reached out to him. And sometimes I still do at this time, because he's retired military, but he has PTSD from being shipped out. So a lot of times I do check on him. So.
Excellent answer. All right, we are back with the Talk to Be Nice podcast, and I have the final four here with me now. For full disclosure, I don't think you all realize how long this is actually taking to film. With a conversation like this, 9 times out of 10, usually I would cut people off and move it along. But like with this is the wrong episode to do that for. I feel like this is important to let people say what they need to say, even if it takes us to 11 o'clock at night. Yeah.
4.5 hours.
It took 11 o'clock at night for full disclosure. We started around like 7. So, yeah, so let's move to these last few questions. Let's get y'all home. Let's get y'all safe and sound back to the crib. Again, we just talked about one community who their major complaints are feeling alone. It's only right that we discuss another community, which is the homosexual community. Clearly, there's always a lot of discussions within that community about as far as suicides go. They're scared of being judged. They feel alone for how they feel. I think we all have homosexual friends, of course. Are you supporting those friends? Are they able to talk to you?
Yes.
Do you make them feel accepted as far as?
Sure do.
Now, what advice, and I mean, you know, I don't know if you all are able to, of course, but what advice would you give to somebody who is a homosexual, who is dealing with feeling alone, or like they're worried about being judged, or like, let's say if you had a friend, how would you tell them it's okay if they're feeling alone?
I actually do have a friend who's like in the process of like transitioning from male to female, and like, I'm using the correct pronouns. When she first came to me about the idea, like, hey, you know, like, I know to the world I'm dating this girl, but on the inside, I honestly am not happy. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then that's when he broke it down and was telling me, like, I have the thing for males, this and the third. I want to tell my mama, but I don't know how my mama will feel. I want to tell my sister, but like, I don't want to disappoint my family. And I was like, hey, look, at the end of the day, that's still your family. You have to learn to grow and accept yourself and be happy within yourself. They're your family. They're going to love you regardless. I said, even if they don't love you regardless, I am here. I have been here since like 3 months before she came out. I was there. I was talking every single day, all day, like, hey, baby, look. They gonna love you regardless. If you ain't got nobody else, you got me. I don't want nobody to do this. I don't want nobody to do that. We're not worried about that. You have to be happy within yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy genuinely within yourself, how can you be happy with somebody else? If you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? You know, like, I was like, hey, I'll hold your hand. I will sit there with you while you talk to your folks. Like, you don't have to go through this alone. You will not go through this alone. And here we are, like 4 years later, and it's still the same thing. Like, every day, like, hey, you good? Yeah, I'm fine. No, are you really good? And then it's even worse since her mother passed away. So now it's like, I'm real down on, like, hey, look, if you want to talk, you know where to find me. You have my location. If I'm not answering the phone, she'll even do it if she really need to talk. If I'm not answering the phone and it's that serious, she'll come knocking on the door and be like, 11 o'clock, what's wrong? I really need to talk. I know you gotta be to work at 5 o'clock, but I really need to talk. All right, come on, we finna sit up and talk. Because I would rather you sit and talk to somebody, and whether it's in the LGBTQ plus community or somebody else, like, express yourself, because at the end of the day, you will be loved. You will also be judged, but you will be loved. There are people that are there for you. Don't be afraid to accept who you really are. You can't accept and love anybody else if you can't accept and love your own self. And that's just not for them, that's for everybody.
All right, now everybody's here.
So,
Not this bad.
my final 4. We need to end this by, I need you to tell 3 people outside of the regular people who you already always say it to, which is like family, kids, whoever, who may not know that you love them and why. That's the last question. That's how we ended it.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Outside of what now?
Outside of just like people who you regularly say it to. Okay. Now, be fair, if you want to tell everybody, then you can just tell your 3 people. But at least try to think of somebody who may not know it. Let them know.
What if they know it, but you don't tell them to them all the time?
then they don't know.
What you saying? But I was just, you know, I get detail with it, so like they know, but I don't say it.
Well, then make sure they know.
I'm not gonna
You
call
can be one of
names
people.
because like I don't want their girlfriends to feel no type of way, but I
No,
have.
it's not like that. It's not
Yeah,
like
no,
you
but
in
I
love
have a
with them.
friend who's in the Army, I have a friend who's in the Air Force, and I have a friend who's also in the Navy.
As long as they know, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right.
And like they say they don't get that enough. They don't get the I love you enough. So like when I be like
Not
stay
to
up,
cut you off, they go back to the military.
yeah.
Like you said, those
When I be like, how you doing? And then I end a conversation with, cause that's how we talk. I talk to them like I'm one of the right. I'm like, Steph, G, love you. They be like, damn, for real. I be like, yeah. What you mean for real? They be like, you know how long it's been since I had somebody tell me I love me? And I'm like, I'm saying this because it's true. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just me. I guess because I grew up like that, I want everybody else to grow up like that. Like, my mom and dad was always like, you can come talk to me about anything. And to this day, like, I talk to my parents about everything. Like, I know you have a daughter, I know you have a daughter. Like, when I started the whole stripping thing, like, I went to my daddy, like, straight up. I was like, hey, I got something to tell you. Like, I know you're in prison out of the state, but you're gonna hear about this.
So you were serious about that?
I'm very serious.
Oh, this is
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is, yes.
Just for y'all to understand, we had a conversation off camera that she worked somewhere and I thought it was a joke. I do apologize.
No, it's okay. It's 100% okay. Like I called my
And I
dad.
respect
Like when
that.
he
I'm
called
sorry.
from the prison, I was like, hey, you know, I know you gonna hear it because I know some of your boys be going to all these different places where I'm gonna be at. So like, hey, I am a stripper. I do dance. This is my stage name. How do you feel about it? And he was like, what? He was like, man, you joking. I was like, nah. I had to talk to my dad like, he wanted hummus. I was like, bro, I'm dead ass serious. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, I'm a dancer. Now you're like, dude, do you really think I'll be sitting here lying about some shit like this? Like, I had to talk to him like that. Like, he was like,
because I think he was still shocked at it.
yeah, he was like, I mean, I'm glad that you told me.
But at the same
But at the same time, it's like my daughter. But you're grown, and I know you're gonna live your life for you because that's one thing my daddy preaches live for me. So like, he was like, I can accept that. He was like, yeah, if you see some of my homies trying to tip you, tell them that I'm gonna shoot them. And I was like, hey, we ain't gotta do all of that.
No, they gotta do that.
We ain't doing all of that.
Tell them they make a split comment as they tip and marry you and yell out there.
But yeah, like, how about this? Everybody out there who feels like they have nobody and nobody tells you this, I'm saying this from I can't even say the bottom of my heart because I don't have a bottom. From the top of my heart, you are loved, you are special, you're important, you are somebody. Like, don't ever let anybody talk down on you for anything you do, no matter what it is, no matter who it is, because at the end of the day, there's somebody out there doing better than you, there's somebody out there doing worse than you. Do you, be you. Screw these people. And live your life for you. You are loved. If you need somebody, we're gonna put all of my social media on there. I might not always answer on Messenger, but like, hit me up and be like, hey, I need to talk. I will set aside time to listen because I had that when I was going through something with my mental illness after I had my son. I had 7, 8 people that I could call, and I guarantee you, by the time I got to the third person, somebody answering their phone for me. So you're not alone. Like, call me. Like, just don't be on no creep stuff, but call me if you're real serious and need somebody to talk to. Like, I'll be up till 3 in the morning and I gotta be to work at 5 or 6. Still call me, I will answer, baby. I will talk to you, I will meet you, I will come to you. Okay? Alright. Hello, like, she'll tell you. You can knock on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna get up and answer because, yeah, like, I take mental health super serious.
Excellent. So everybody, let them know.
Everybody's left.
Everybody left. Let's run through these.
You said 3 people?
3 people, man.
Yo, I tell everybody that I love them, but it's one person. I'm sure he knows I love him, but I don't say it. That's just because, it's not because we emasculated. It's not because like, it's like, you know, like shunned to do it. It's just because, like he don't say it before, like we just live those lives on 2 different platforms. We got a lot going on. I love you, my dog. I love you, bro.
We say that all the time.
Yeah, through a text, but like I've never really expressed to you, bro, like how much I love you because when nobody was there, you took me in at your mom's house. You put me in Lacie. We done been there down in Cochran. We can have a whole another hour podcast by ourselves. Yo, I've never had a older figure like a younger older figure. Did that make sense? Like I got my dad, I got my granddad, but I've never had somebody, you know, around my generation to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Get your shit.
get your shit together. Plain and simple. I don't have a friend before, you know, but we dealt with stuff differently. But when we started connecting like that, it was just a whole nother spark. Like you can call me up, like, bro, I can't get the tire moving. Where you at? I'm on the way. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I just want to say that you was always there with me too, from driving all the way to Atlanta to help me out, to put down your foot, tell me what was real. And I know I don't text like, man, I love you, my bro, but like face to face, I ain't never really showed you and expressed to you. And it's the perfect time to do it on the podcast, bro. From the bottom of my motherfucking heart, you my dog. I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
No, I love you, man.
Look at that.
Dang, man.
Romance in the building.
Y'all don't understand. Like this my brother for real. Like when I had $1, we was
Y'all
split.
could be brothers. Y'all
You've known a lot of guys for a long time, and I know y'all tight brothers too. But it's like I'm that little brother. I'm that little brother in the midst that you don't have to like, hey, chill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Darius has always been the brother. Like somebody like, yo, what's going on? Yeah, I know you do it. I'll handle that though.
Yeah.
You don't say a word.
I already know.
You know, when T.I. got onto his brother ATL, that's Ray. Like, you really doing this?
Oh, that's y'all?
But so you okay?
Like another thing, man. Like everybody, that's crazy you say that. 'Cause they don't understand how far back we go, man. Because even like you said, you believed in me when nobody like I believed in you when there was you know it was nothing. You believe the same. Like everybody now, I hear it a lot. And for the record, I don't got no money like that. I don't know everybody assumes I got money all the time.
They think military equals money.
Yeah. I guarantee you. Oh, that's another thing. There's no money in the military.
Equals money.
There's no money in the military.
But don't let that discourage him.
Don't let it discourage him.
He's trying to go. He's trying to go.
And you married, so it might be a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not much. Yeah, not much. But the thing is, like, I say that, but like, when me and him connected, I didn't have a dime. I was driving around in a 2001 Saturn that may or may not cut on if you needed it to. Like, it used to be a joke. Like, the car was named Lucy, like he said. It's like, we'd be like, yo, Lucy don't cut on, but like, when you need her to, Lucy gonna come through in the clutch. But like, you did a lot for me too, cause like even when I didn't have nothing, you didn't treat me no different. You still come to. I didn't have nothing. I had proved nothing in the world as far as I'm capable of doing anything of value, and you still value my opinion then. Yeah. Like you don't realize you helped me realize like, damn, somebody think like what I say matters that much. Maybe I need to justify why he feels like that. Yeah. So whether you realize it or not. Like you made me, I was working 5 minimum wage jobs. Like you dead ass. He know he lived with me. I literally see him because I walk in, change my shirt, and walk back out. Like he don't realize that every time I came in there, like Dave's like I'm tired as hell. He walk in there like, bro, you doing your thing, man. Keep going. Like it was some days like I can't keep doing this. I walk in the house, he got a smile, he got a joke. Man, let me go on to work, man. I wasn't even gonna go today. So like the same way you pushed me, man. Like the same way you say I pushed you, you did the same for me. So like you say you love me, man. You know I love you, I appreciate you, man. Which is why anytime you need anything, man, you know I'm always on the way for it. So I appreciate that. That's excellent.
Back in Dream Big Exclusive. I'm still here. I'm still here. Dream Big Exclusive.
So last but not least, both of y'all, let them know who y'all love, who don't know it, who need to know it. She already said it. You just had
I don't tell her no.
Oh, let's go.
I don't tell her how much I love and appreciate her. But last 7 years, me and her, we've been rocking. We've been tight. We've been like this for the last 7 years. When I thought I ain't had nobody, I had her. I could call her with my biggest problem. I can call her crying on the phone. She tell me, hey, snap back, shape up, get right. You know, something like that. She. That's been my girl, man. Like we could go for what, 2-3 days without talking? We can go 2-3 days without talking.
and all of a sudden pick back up like it was nothing. Group chats, we go out, we hang out, everything. Like once, twice a week, we go do something. We got to do something together. Because believe it or not, she might be my cousin, but that's my best friend. That's been my girl ever since 2014 when we reconnected. We reconnected on Facebook, and it's just been like this and simple. What's it?
That's for sure. That's for sure. I like these guys. You don't even have to say nobody else if you don't want to. That's just something. Like we said 3 and we just keep saying 1. Sometimes it just sums it up, man. It's value in what you all are saying. It doesn't require, further conversation.
When you answer, tread lightly. You are married. I'm joking, bro. I'm joking.
Hey, he's been here 4 hours and we have not got him in trouble. So.
Right.
Hey, we're all just
Tread lightly, my boy. No, I'm just playing.
We respect your marriage, so,
I got three dudes that gotta thank. One's Chris Evans, Jesse Collins, and Derek Green. I say that because I've been closer with them than I have been with my previous friends who I've been friends with for 10 years before we just cut it off. I realize that a lot of people just want to be around you just to be around you. Because they don't have that self-energy, so they just want you to be around to feel like they have somebody around you. So it feels like you gotta be there for them when there's really no chemistry, and that gets drained for a while. But then I met friends like them, they got their own lives, so we may not see each other for a while, but when we see each other, it's like, hey, I actually know this person, because we're ambitious. Compared to those previous friends, it feels like you gotta be their energy because they have no self-energy. So I tell a lot of people, when you network, you gotta network people that have the same ideas as you. If you're just trying to make friends, you just waste your energy, waste your time. So, especially at our ages, there's no more time to waste.
For sure.
we only get that old.
I love these answers. This was a long.
Are you gonna answer? Oh, you already did. You said one.
Yeah, my other 2 people that I tell them, like I said, I've grown past the not telling people. Like I could more say it face to face, but I do go out my way now to send that, hey man, hope your day going good, man. I love you, man. If you need me, call you. So I think I kind of already reached that point to where I kind of tell everybody. See, now I'm kind of more, I tell everybody I know, but now I come have everybody sit down and tell y'all, hey man, I love y'all as a community. We need to make some change. This is where I kind of reached another level where like I'm past the face to face with my people. I'm talking to everybody now. Like I love y'all enough that we ain't doing as a community what we need to do. We need to figure that out, which is why everybody comes here for this. So that's kind of my answer. I have no more questions. This was a long road to get us here. We skipped some questions because it's just time at this point. I will open the floor. Does anybody have anything they want to say, need to say before we do, of course, our closing remarks?
We don't hit that. 4 hours, we don't hit everything.
And honestly, I probably, other than needed cuts, this episode, let's be honest, it probably won't be watched all the way to the end. It's just entirely too long. But I will leave it as unedited as possible. Now, some things I just have to edit. But other than that, man, because like even one thing I may not feel like is important in this episode, that might be what somebody needs to hear. So, I sincerely doubt anybody's watching this, even us. I probably will not watch this whole thing before, just being honest. But for that one person who maybe does, I hope that they get what they need from it. I definitely appreciate you all's time, both you all and of course the people who had to leave earlier than when we finished, because this, like I said, this was time consuming. The fact that people came out and people brought their kids, like the environment was excellent, conversations were excellent, and even as long as it took, nobody trailed off with their answers just in the effort